So today we'll be discussing about the use of DKIM to validate outbound emails sent from your custom domain in Office 365. Now, so I understand that well, when majority of us, when we're setting up our Office 365 tenant, it comes with a default on Microsoft domain. That's the on Microsoft.com. So if I'm creating a new tenant and the name of the tenant is Contoso, it comes with a default Microsoft Contoso.microsoft.com. That's it associated with that particular tenant. So if I'm sending out emails, it carries the on Microsoft domain attached with my tenant name. All right. So most of the time we tend to purchase custom domains online. We get free domains from wherever we get them, and so we buy a default custom domain, which is contoso.com. We also use that custom domain we validate that custom domain on our Office 365 tenant, and it becomes available for use. So instead of me sending an email with my default on Microsoft.com, I now send with my contoso.com, which carries my name and the suffix. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So most of it's very easy for people to spoof and impersonate your domain, if you understand what I'm saying. So there are so many times where we have where I've worked on cases where a user complains that I've just been spoofed, and if you look at the similarities between what the messages being received or being sent out by these spoofers, if you check the addresses, they are, if not 99% similar. So in such cases, we really need to be up on our game to set up security measures to ensure that spoofers would not impersonate our custom domains, and that's where DKIM comes into play. So DKIM, what is DKIM? DKIM is domain keys identified mail. So it's just a technology that ensures that the destination of email system trusts outbound messages coming from custom domain. So now what this does is, okay, I'm an email server and I'm receiving email any other person. I have to check that email to validate it and ensure that, okay, this is a trusted email. So it just basically adds a digital signature on all our outgoing emails. So if I purchase a tenant today, contoso.com, and I want to set up DKIM, so I'm setting up DKIM, my contoso.com, if it hits Gmail servers, Yahoo servers will have to see it as a signed email coming from a legitimate sender, that is contoso.com. So that's what basically DKIM does, all right? And associated technologies with DKIM are SPF. You heard of SPF, you heard of DMARC. They also do the same thing, similar things to what it's still the same similar technology. They just help to prevent spoofing. All right. I'm just going to pause here. I think I'm talking too much, and allow for questions if there are any.
No, it's great.
Oh,
So
okay.
if there's any question, I would want to be asking at this point, what's the difference between the SPF and the DKIM? How do you, if someone is to ask the question, that what's the difference between the two?
Sorry, can you come again with your question? The
I
line
said,
was
so
breaking
if,
a bit.
if I were to ask a question, my question would be, what would be the way, how will I be able to differentiate between SPF? What's the difference between SPF and DKIM?
And DKIM. Okay, that's fine. We'll probably get into that much more later in this presentation. But SPF, what SPF does is to add information to a message envelope. All right, so I'm sending out, let's just take a little scenario. I send a message via a postman and I add additional information, all right, to the message envelope the postman is carrying. The message envelope might contain my source IP, etc., like the email, sending email servers and stuff. But DKIM, it sends out a digital signature of my outgoing emails. So instead of enveloping any other thing in my message headers or my message, my message headers, all I just need to attach my signature. So that's just the major basic explanation. I don't know. This thing is deeper than what I'm explaining about. What I'm trying to say is the SPF attaches extra information like the IP address, the sender's mail server, etc., into the message envelope. While DKIM does, what DKIM does is to attach a digital signature. Okay, this message is signed by me, ideally, and I am sending it legit. So they both work, they are both similar technologies, all right, but they both work hand in hand to prevent spoofers from hacking or impersonating our custom domains. I
Yeah,
don't
very
think
well
I have
explained.
done justice.
Yes, yes, very well
Oh,
explained. Thank you.
sorry?
I said thank you.
Sorry,
Very
the line was
Well
breaking.
explained.
Okay. So my slide, I said DKIM enables you to add digital signature to outbound image messages in the message header. Email systems that receive emails from your domains can use this digital signature to help determine if incoming emails that they receive is legitimate, like I just explained. So the difference between this and SPF is SPF adds additional information to the message. This just attaches a digital signature. Now it makes use of the cryptographic authentication. Smart grammar. Okay, so what is cryptography, or what is cryptographical authentication? Anybody can help us? MVPs in the house, CTOs, CEOs, anybody? Nobody? Okay, so
No idea.
no idea. It's just a terminology used for the modern day encryption. All right. So cryptography is a method of transferring private information. This is just a little digression from the main topic, the DKIM. All right. So cryptography is just a method of transferring private information and data through an open network communication, so that only the receiver who has the secret key can message predictions, images, or other forms of data. So now, example, if I encrypt, a very good example is the Office 365 message encryption. I don't know if anyone here has implemented Office 365 message encryption on their team. Anybody? So now what OME does is you're sending an email, all right, to a recipient. The email should come with a key that will open the document. So that's just the technology used in cryptography. It's more encryption, and cryptography itself is another what is it? It's a branch of its own. It's so much computer science. I'm sorry. So, but that's not what we're doing today. Okay, so I've explained cryptography and we're still on DKIM. So let's see. Difference between SPF and that sender policy framework, like our CTO, like she asked initially. So I'm just giving, this is a brief scenario. Ben at contoso.com is contoso.com exists with Office 365, sends to Yahoo server, sends an email to our Yahoo server. Yahoo server looks up the SPF records for contoso.com to validate the message by verifying the IP address of the sender against the alleged owner of the sending domain. That's contoso.com. So if you say you are contoso.com, you have an IP. So when you're sending out for SPF, does is it looks up your records, your TXT records, and checks, okay, does 127.0.0.1 belong to contoso.com? If yes, this email is valid. If the Yahoo server finds the message coming from a server other than Office 365 messaging servers listed in the SPF, Yahoo mail servers can choose to reject the message as spam. So that's when we get so many messages. So this is a great technology, all right, to prevent spoofing. All right, so this is the major difference between SPF and DKIM. I hope I'm doing justice. So another technology is DMARC. DMARC is domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance. Oof, that was long. When we talk about outgoing emails, we talk about DKIM and SPF records. Now, what DMARC does, to the best of my own knowledge, is it validates incoming emails, right? So outgoing DMARC, outgoing DKIM, incoming DMARC. So now let me take a quick example, or let me just give a quick scenario. Say I'm going for Whiskey Live in Lagos and I purchase a ticket. Although in Lagos, there will be so many other people that will be selling tickets that are not real. We all know that. So now I purchase a valid ticket from the online. What are these ticket vendors again? They're not coming to my head. So I purchase a valid ticket. When I get to the gate, what the bouncer would do is to scan my ticket or maybe the barcode to check for validity. If it is valid, I can enter for the show. If it is invalid, I'm out. So that is how DKIM works. No, that's how DMARC works for incoming mails to your camera. Let me see, just a minute. Okay. Are we still get that? I think I have issues with my network.
Yeah, we are with you. Continue, please.
All right. That's fine. So, where was I? The difference. So, the talked about this. Sorry. DMARC. DMARC records validates incoming mails from email servers to your incoming network. All right. So it still has the same technology, and we'll talk about the TXT and the how we validate in a bit. Okay, so let's talk about publishing DKIM records on your domain. This is the real deal. This is how it is done. So we all have, if you have a custom domain, it's expected that you have a domain registrar or a cPanel, as most of you will call it, a cPanel. So what you do is to populate just like you do for your MX, your TXT, your A records. You also do this for you do this as a CNAME record. All right, so this record type is a CNAME record. So when you're imputing it on your cPanel, you select CNAME instead of many people in situations where people miss this value when populating selector one dot underscore domain key. So some people will just feel it is selector one dash domain key and they populate the wrong records. All right, I'm going to show you where I populated mine on freenom.com. Freenom is free for 1 year, just in case you need the custom domain to practice. I was thinking I was going to get a new custom domain to repro, but I don't know, for some reasons Freenom was just acting up. So the value is selector one dot dash domain grid. That's the domain grid is the name of your, that's the unique identifier now. So in this case, if I'm using Contoso, contoso.com, the domain grid will be Contoso. Then your initial domain is the MOGRD, that's the on Microsoft. And it's always important that the time to live should be 3600, that's 1 hour. Now, for each domain, they have two values that you're supposed to populate, selector 1 and selector 2. Those are the values that you're expected to populate. So if you're going to sign 10 custom domains, for each of those 10, you should selected. Am I communicating? No, yes, maybe. I think I am.
Okay, yes.
Yes, you are.
All right. So does anyone have a question at this point in terms of populating?
Sorry, what I maybe I missed it because of the network,
Okay.
but I didn't get. Hi, good evening. My name is Corinne. I didn't get where do you get the inputs, as in the values to input into this into your C panel. Where do you get those values from? For the DKIM record.
So now these values are, yes. So these values are available on your Office 365 tenant. It's unfortunate that I've already populated mine. That's why it's already showing me that it is signed messages from the DKIM. So this is my default and it's already authoritative. But if you have a demo, what is it called? A demo environment, and you come to your Exchange Admin Center and you go to protection, then DKIM. If you've not populated these values before, you see it there and you see the records to be populated. All right. If you want documentation on that, it's available on Microsoft.com. This is the documentation, all right? And you can also get the values here. Just here. These are the values that are supposed to be populated. But
okay.
We do make mistakes in populating these records on our C panel. So I'm just going to show you how it looks like on Freenom. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this is how it looks like
Can
on
I ask a question?
Freenom. This is DNS management for my domain. So I have the name selector one. Yes, please. Go ahead. Your question.
Okay. Sorry, I came a little bit late.
Okay.
I want to ask the security, the prevention that or the protection that Office 365 is giving through this record spooling is can this be sufficient without having some other third-party software to prevent such as you are doing now?
So this is not a third-party software, all right? These are just preventive measures, but by default, okay, by default, all messages coming from Office 365 email servers are signed. All right, they have these DKIM values by default. Reason being that on creation of your tenant, there is an on Microsoft domain attached to your tenant. All right, like that's how it comes by default. So now, if you're creating a custom domain and you're using, like you create users on your tenant with a custom domain, their aliases would be the on Microsoft.com. Am I communicating? So by default, every email you send out, all right, from your Office 365 will be signed, digitally signed by the on Microsoft.com instead of your custom domain.
Okay.
Am I communicating?
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead. Yeah.
So that's by default. That's the security that Office 365 provides. Okay. So we're saying how do we implement this for all our custom domains so that we prevent spoofing.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not a third party whatsoever.
No,
right?
I'm not. Hello, Ayo. I'm not saying it's a third party. I'm saying can this be sufficient without having another third party? Layers of security. You have a firewall, an hardware firewall, maybe from Cisco, to do the same work, or this one is sufficient to solve anything, so that we can actually sell this as the only component for securing and preventing spooling via exchange.
Okay, so if I may come in there,
yeah.
if I may come in there, sorry, so Shay, what this is really doing is more of a validation.
Okay.
Now, yes, it's more of a validation to say who is sending this mail, or who am I receiving from, or who is sending out, really, just to validate the identity, so to say.
Identity. Okay.
Yes. So when it now comes to protection, you have other things you can put on protection. Yes, in some ways, because you can validate, it helps you also to now say, it prevents some form of, just like what Ayo is saying, it prevents some form of spoofing, it prevents some form of phishing or spam and all of that. There are other things you want to put. There are also other settings you want to go into in your things like your SPF confidence level that you want to set. There are things like on ATP. There are other solutions on ATP that will help you in protecting the mail, whether the person is the safe sender, the safe link, and all of that. Those are more of protecting the mails as they come in. But when you want to validate and say, oh, who is this identity of the person that is sending me this mail, or I'm receiving it, or is it really somebody I should receive mail from? Yes, it has a little bit of, how will I put it? It has a similarity with protecting you in a way. But what it does really is when it validates the identity, then it knows whether it should deliver it or it should not deliver it, or should discard it. But if the mail is actually can pass through that validation and it comes in, definitely you will need other solutions that will now be able to protect, to scan into the contents of those mail and pick things that have hidden themselves or wrapped themselves in links in the content of the mail, and then you can, to pick it out. So that's another solution, but this will only just do validation for you. I don't know. Are you dealing whether I was able to assist?
Yes, you actually did justice to it, Shay. I don't know if that's explanatory.
It's okay, because I was the way you were the way your presentation is making me to feel very confident that once I do this, there will be no need for me to buy a third party security. But the explanation is clear.
So if you
thank you, can go ahead.
If you ask me, I would say security cannot be enough, because I mean, just as the people that are implementing securities and putting things in place, so also we have brothers in Otigba and Oremeji trying to do their own stuff. You understand what I mean? So I can't just say security this is enough, this is sufficient. In fact, we get if you why I'm really hell-bent on DKIM is I've treated cases in the past where I have seen similar domains. Like this is, if you look at it, it's the same thing word for word, like no characters missed. And one is a spoof. And this is, it costs the whole company, what is it called now? They're almost all their financial records before they actually realized, and it was probably too late. So these are the things that would prevent impersonation in the long run. Okay. And for third party, I just want to quickly touch on third party. Some of us in our organizations, we can't, like I said, security would not always be enough. So we go to third party filtering systems like Barracuda and stuff. We can also implement DKIM on all these things to put a digital signature on all our emails going out of our custom domains. Do you understand? So these are the things that are needed. And sorry, I lost track of what I was saying before. Now you want to use okay. All right. So I'm just going to, I was talking about how to set it up, and somebody else raised the question where I got these values from. These values are editable. All right. So this is just the skeletal form of it. And I was trying to show you how it looks like on my own cPanel. So my domain name is wcrecords.ml. I mean, I don't know how I got that name, but I mean, it's a lab environment. Anything can happen. So these are the names. Selector1._domain key. It's a CNAME type, and the time to live is 3600 seconds. Some cPanels would calculate this in hours. I mean, if we've populated MX and TXT records before. And the target is what I'm interested in. Selector1-wcrecords.ml, just like this same format that I just showed you. Where is it? Okay. So selector1-wcrecords.ml-_. So my initial domain is what I want to target now. Now, if I can't see, I don't want to delete this.
Sorry,
So if I can, if you see this is wcrecords.microsoft.com.
We can't see your screen.
Shell domain. Just in case you can't.
We can't see your screen.
I can see it too. Did you stop sharing?
Okay. Well, how about now?
Okay, fine.
Yes, no, it's fine. We can see it. We can see what you're talking about.
Okay, so selector1.domain key. I think I've logged this enough. Any questions on how to populate on cPanels? I mean, it varies for different cPanels like GoDaddy, etc. Which other ones are we used to? Which this Nigerian one? Is it Webhost or something? I keep on forgetting names. So it differs from cPanels the way you populate, but the most important thing is the target and the value and the type and the name. So those are the things that are very, very important when populating these records. Can we still see my screen? Yes. So we can also use PowerShell to set it up. I don't know if anybody is good with PowerShell scripting here. Nobody. I know there are some people, but they're shy. That's why I'm shy. I don't
We can see that.
Scripts in PowerShell. Yeah. So you set this up with PowerShell, all right, and you first of all connect to Exchange Online using PowerShell scripts. There is a custom script for that. Then you set it up, new DKIM sign-in config, domain name, contoso.com, contoso in this default domain. No, sorry, your custom domain. Then you enabled first. You get the DKIM identity, and you input the selector name, CNAME, to the selectors to be CNAME records, select the 1 and 2, and you set the DKIM for the, and you enable it to true. I've not really tried this. Maybe someone want to and how to do this. Okay. So no. Finish just that. So questions? Anybody? Questions? Now I've said so many things. How do I know this works? Can you still see my screen? Yes.
Yes, we can.
So how do I know this works? If I initiate a new message, and I'm sending to my Gmail account. So I'm sending a test message to my Gmail account. I want to see if this actually works, if what I have said so far works. Because I set it up, how do I know it works? I've sent the message and I go to my Gmail. Putting my password at 1. I'll tell you my password. Okay, so this is a test email from my Outlook account where I have my domain. That's from my wcrecord.com to my Gmail account. So how do I know this works? If I come and show, voila, from my WC Records email custom domain to my Gmail, mailed by wcrecords.com, signed by me. This same custom domain, wcrecords.com. Now, if you've not done this on your admin center, like if you've not populated your custom domain, your DKIM on your admin center, it would show here as wcrecords.onmicrosoft.com. That's the signature. That's why I said by default, Office 365 provides these DKIM settings by default to all outgoing, all right? So instead of my wcrecords.ml, that's if I have not populated my DKIM records, it will show here as wcrecords.onmicrosoft.com. Do you understand me? So it's until I do this on these DKIM settings on my admin center before it populates, and when you send out emails, it shows as your custom domain. Now, I want to add here that this doesn't, so in most cases, it doesn't, what's the word now? It doesn't take effect immediately. Sometimes you have to give it 24 hours after you've populated on your cPanel and you've also authenticated it here. It takes 24 hours to populate most of the time. And what else am I not saying? I think that's just basically it. So any questions for me? Can we still hear me? Network bad.
Yeah, we are with you.
Okay. Question. or feedback or suggestions, or what you think about let me even ask. Let me be asking people questions. So let me see. I have Adikunle here. Adikunle, can you hear me? Hello, Adikunle, are you here? Maybe Adikunle is mute. Ida, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm still coming up with a question for you.
Oh, don't come up with a question for me. I want to ask question.
Okay. Okay, so by the way, everyone, there is on the chat window, there is a form that we all need to fill for response. I mean, just like a quick survey form, please do remember to fill it. Ayodele, since you want a question, I have a question. Are there any disadvantages to one setting up DKIM?
So far, I can't say something that is good will be bad eventually. I've not seen any disadvantage. So it's more like an advantage of setting these things up just to prevent spoofing. I mean, it's good that we have most of this technology set up on our environments. So, I mean, you cannot, sometimes you might not see spoofing coming. There are situations where I've had to deal with payload attacks and whatnot. And if they are taking extra measures to set these things up, it would have been fine. And most times you see people with 10 custom domains on one. I mean, you can add several custom domains to your Office 365 tenant. And it becomes a problem when they are not signed. Just imagine you have 10 custom domains on your Office 365 tenant and they are not signed. So it's very easy for spoofers to, I mean, get hold of one and take over and impersonate. So if you ask me, no disadvantages. It's all an advantage.
Okay, thanks. So the other question I want to ask is this. Now, at the point you sent your mail to Gmail, I mean, you forwarded that mail to Gmail. What if I decide to forward from Gmail to another recipient? Is the signature still going to go, or at that point, because I mean, if I was trying to look at the header of each of, you've had situation where you've gotten email and you see that, oh, all of this spoof made the bypass different levels of maybe verification and all of that. So I'm giving an example now. If at all the mail in a way comes in contact with somebody that is, and he wants to be malicious about it and he forwards it, is there going to be any form, I'm just asking, is there going to be any form of that identity validation following it or not? I don't know if you got my question.
So because the network was bad, yeah, something I didn't get most of what you were saying because the line was breaking at some point. But for this to see how it turns out to be, dealing. Okay, I'm just going to check my Yahoo Mail to see how it turns out to be. But my best guess, it will still be signed by the original sender, which is wcrecords.ml. Let's talk with.
Hello, Aya.
Yes,
Can
please.
I ask my question? Yeah. Do you have a documentation or a link where we can that we can download, we can use to set up our own custom DKIM? Do you have any
Yes, there is.
documents that you can put on the
There's a Microsoft.
chat platform? Can you help us to put on the platform so that we can go and check and do something in our own domain? Okay, thank you very much.
Done.
Yeah, thanks.
I dropped that in the chat.
So about more technologies.
No,
on
I
WhatsApp
dropped
also,
that.
right?
A Microsoft Documents, I dropped that on the chat window.
Okay.
For how to use it and then to configure it. Okay, I think.
So I'm just going to check this message properties, view details, hero message, and see if, okay, I have DKIM signature here. I'm coming. Let's see.
Okay, cool.
Yes, so we can see that these DKIMs are being signed by Google itself, or
yeah.
I was thinking I would see the original sender, which is my WC record, still carrying the signed message. Okay, these are just the headers and div tags. Okay, so it's hard to spoof when you have DKIM set up. It's very, very hard to spoof. It's hard to do the whole impersonation thing when you have DKIM set up. And that's just basically it. Well, I'm always available for further questions on WhatsApp. I hope I would get to meet people one-on-one some other time, like Shumoke, Folarin, and the rest, and all other MVPs in the house some other time.
Hopefully. So you have Shay MVP in the house. Shay, we're honored to have you on this call. And I think you have Foyin also in the house. So we have very passionate IT professionals here. That's and I think we have also some guests in the house. Really, I mean, I can see Mr. Mahmood. That's from Abuja joining us. That's great. And then the rest of the team. Thank you all for this time on this call. Do we still have any question? If we don't have any question, I want to appreciate Ayodele for doing justice to this topic. And then it was just yesterday that we just started this, and then I'm very glad with the way the user group responded, and the fact that he just saw it. I mean, he received this notification yesterday and decided, oh, okay, it's going to take it. And I'm happy that to some extent, I believe every one of us has gained one thing or the other. And then we can see how we can start putting digital signatures on all of our mails. I mean, we also are looking, we're looking in the nearest future, Ayodele, that you're going to do something for us on DMARC, right? Because of you've done DKIM, so we also will be. So I'm already roping you in ahead of time. And I'm sure you're going to do that. Please do not forget to fill in the survey. It's in the chat box. We want to see how we're doing and what other topics we'll like to discuss on this call in the future. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please, is there a way we can create a YouTube channel? Somebody was chatting in the group. Can we have a YouTube channel? Well, all this, I like you are recording your stuff. That is great. I don't know whether other virtual training or something that's then recorded Can we create a YouTube channel for MCTNAIJA and each of the user group just populate it with their videos? So anybody can go there and check the video, and like what I or Deji have done is good. And anybody that goes there can go over there and review it.
Yes. So definitely we're looking at that. I'm going to leave that to James to undo really, because he's on the call also. So
let him call me so that we can we'll have we'll not just subject it to just M365 group, just call it the general user group, so anybody can just upload their video there.
All right then. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for the time. Tomorrow we'll be having a session by James Olashukwo and his own session, the same time, except we want to vote for a different time, but it's the same time. His own topic is going to be how to use know your organization security posture using Microsoft Secure Score. And I want to tell you ahead of time, this is going to be a very powerful session. So I will employ you guys to be around to have that. Then on the like I said, I will be announcing every session after the next session after at the end of every session we have. So I'll be announcing that to us. So thank you all for coming in, and if you have any further question, any further clarification, please drop the question on the chat box. We can answer and get back to you. Or you can also join our, if you're not there already, you can join the WhatsApp group, leave your question there. We will say as much as possible to answer you. The whole essence of this is to see how we can foster knowledge in the community, and then to see how every one of us can grow in this technology even as it advances. So thank you once again for the time. Thank you, Ayodele, for the wonderful session. And if there won't be any, if there is no further question, I want to call it and say goodbye to everyone at this stage.
Thank you so much, Ayodele. It's very helpful.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jumoke. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We greet you, sir.
Bye-bye.